Welcome to Small Business Saturday.
Welcome to Small Business Saturdays video series with your host and my husband.
And my dad, Kylene Montgomery.
Join the conversation.
Let's talk some business.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome into Small Business Saturdays here this morning. My name is Kylene Montgomery, and you can find me right up there at oursuccessgroup.com. Hopefully everybody is having a wonderful Saturday. We are up and about here for the most part. I think our son is still sleeping, but I do have my wife here with me, so we're going to grab her in just one second. But let's say good morning to everybody here first. All right. Good morning, Chuck. Thank you for being here. Cindy, good morning. And Sandy and Valerie and Wendy and Jerry. I think this is Wendy. Yeah, that's Wendy. I'm still waking up, still getting going. So good morning to everybody. Thank you guys so much for being here. I'm excited to talk to and Todd is here, and they are off to pick up their latest edition, their newest edition. They got a puppy from Nan, one of our Masters of Success members there, and apparently they are meeting Tanya and Jay DeRocher to pick up that puppy because Tanya and Jay have the sister, I believe. Yes, and then Todd and Corey and family are getting the brother. Do you guys have a name yet, Todd? Curious to know. Inquiring minds want to know what you guys are going to name the dog, and I can't wait to see pictures of said cute puppy. So I know I got to see a little video the other day of brother and sister playing, so good times. All right, everybody. So today, Nan says, good morning. It's freezing here. So yes, it's getting cold for St. Louis too. So I obviously can't complain. I know it goes in layers. Todd was talking to me yesterday about getting locked outside in his slides. And I kind of said, well, dude, maybe just put on some shoes and socks. All right. I'm sorry. Just kidding, Todd. No name yet. So can that be like a contest? Can we like name the dog contest or something? That could be fun. All right. So today, we are going to be talking about empowering yourself to success, meaning how do we, what's the process here, right? How do we get from point A to point B? What do we need to do? And I'm really excited to have my wife here with us in just one second, because she's been going through this process and putting up with me and dealing with me, kind of using her as my guinea pig for a lot of things that we work on. And on top of that, she is also building her own programs and workshops and things like that. So I don't want to give it all away here yet, but really excited to talk about this morning. So Chuck says Florida is warming up, and Nan says tacos. That's at least what came through on this side, Nan. So taco to you too. All right. So with that being said, let's go ahead and bring in our guest here. Make sure she's ready, not doing anything like picking her nose back there. No, I'm just kidding. Good morning. Yeah, sorry. I had to loosen it up.
Good job.
So you are not, again, great to have you here, sweetie. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining me here this morning. And first and foremost, I want to say thanks for jumping on with me on Instagram. If you have not seen over there at Instagram, our Instagram handle is Our Success Group. You can go check that out. And Nan, sorry, I got sidetracked. Shocker, right, sweetie? Me getting sidetracked.
But Taco was the...
Taco is the name for Todd's puppy.
That's cute.
Todd, is that in the works? That seems like a good name. All right. So where was I at here? So we were talking about great having you. Thank you for being on the Instagram when I last night I got to play.
It was a hard choice to make, Aaron.
Yeah, I was gonna say you didn't really have a yes, Jerry. I do want to bring this up before we get too far away here. Todd is getting a puppy. Jerry got his first grandchild yesterday. Congratulations to you, Jerry. Nice job. Excellent stuff. So Kylene, you got on the Instagram. It was funny. Last night I had an opportunity to go play some volleyball with friends and neighbors last night, and Joni said it was so cute. The interview, she said, I couldn't tell if she wanted to punch you or what. And I'm like, oh, I'm pretty sure she wanted to punch me. So
I held it together.
you did a very good job, because you had just come back to the car. So here's the setup real quick for everybody. We went together as a family, all four of us. Actually, we had our dog with us to our son's volleyball practice, because it's about 45 minutes to an hour away, depending on traffic. And we're not allowed to go in the gym, so we just have to drop him off. But it doesn't make sense to drive all the way home and then drive all the way back. So we go and we sit in the car in the parking lot. And you had just walked inside real quickly to use the restroom, and you come back out, and I go, here's the camera, smile, ready?
Yeah.
How'd that go?
Oh man, you have a great way of getting me out of my comfort zone, that's for sure.
And Becky explains why she's not in the same room with you. Yes.
Yeah.
It's actually for my safety. It's for my safety. So we did that. We had just like a little preview of what we're going to be talking about here today, and that was great. So, and then we've got other names coming through here, but getting the weather report from Kansas, cold at 23 degrees. That's cold, right? Or I don't know, depending on where you're at in Kansas, what you're used to, that maybe that's just normal. I don't know. Pixel is another possible name. And I think this one's fairly appropriate for Todd. Fireball. And then Janessa says taco is appropriate and adorable. So, I would agree with that. All right, so Kylene, let's get into this here. Let's talk about. So the first thing I want to do, well, I guess we've done several things. So second, third, fourth thing I want to do here is I'd like you to look over. I believe it is your left shoulder, and grab that because it's a little out of frame, if you can, and kind of hold it up for everybody. Yeah, there you go. Come to the center a little bit more. The other way. There you go. Up. Yes, excellent. Certified Canfield Success Principles trainer, and that is Kylene Montgomery. So let's see how my flying balloons do. I don't know if there's any sound that go with this, but here we go. We're going to celebrate.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
Yes, celebration. There we go. Balloons are flying. I guess I could have put something in the middle of that video, but there we go. Celebration.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Kylene. You just got that.
You as well.
Yeah, thank you. So let's start there. What did you do that for? Why did you do that?
Well, so I guess a little bit of a history. I've always loved helping people. That's what I did for many, many years. And I just loved helping others see their dreams come true or fulfill a purpose or find that purpose again. And I just like watching those kinds of shows. And I think we watched the documentary on Jack Canfield. And then from there, then we watched the movie The Secret. And then we were hooked on kind of what Jack Canfield was all about and what he was offering. And then you wanted to go to the One Day of Greatness, and which was a seminar put on by Jack Canfield. Yeah. And so we both went to that. And
before
at that,
yeah.
What?
So yeah, but the story around the One Day to Greatness is at the time that was it was happening in June 2019, and I think we learned about it earlier on in the year. And yeah, we'd kind of talked about it. I'd said that I was interested in it, but it was a reasonable investment to do that. And so as an early birthday present, you actually signed me up not only for the show, but you got me the VIP pass as well. And that was really awesome. And then we started talking about it. And I said, what would be even more awesome and make it even more of a birthday gift is if you actually went with. So, so you went with. It was fantastic. It was just a great trip. We drove up to Chicago, stayed the night, and then attended the seminar. And wow, what an experience, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was really perfect timing when the way it all kind of played out. you were really trying to grasp exactly what it is that you were trying to do. And I had made this transition from my career to We Heart. And, I was down that path where I started to go on that roller coaster of emotions, and I let fear take over, and I started doubting myself and just getting stuck in my head. So that's why for us, the success principles, or at least for me, was so powerful, because it came into my life when I really needed it, and I needed that guidance. And it really has been a powerful tool. I would not be sitting right here or doing this workshop or even any of this probably if I hadn't been exposed to this and had your encouragement, Aaron, for moving forward and truly accomplishing my dreams.
So you call it encouragement. It doesn't always feel like that.
Pushing, maybe.
Pushing.
Gentle shoves here and there.
Shoving a camera in your face.
Yeah. So because it has been so powerful for us, especially for me, I really want to share that and continue sharing that with others so they can get past any hurdles they might be having and realize their power in their life, that they can create whatever they want. Really, it's kind of a framework to operate your life by.
Yeah, definitely. Love it. Well, the folks that watch this program have been able to hear a lot about success principles, and we talk about it a lot here. But so let's, before we get into some specifics here, Kylene, I want to share, you mentioned the workshop, but I don't know if we've actually officially announced that yet. So Nan says, way to sorry. Way to go, Kylene.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Kylene, from Sandy.
Thank you.
And Jerry, congratulations.
Thank you.
Valerie, congratulations. So
awesome.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thanks.
And then Janessa's giving us the weather report from the Chicago area. Beautiful 3 degrees and sunny. I don't even know what it is here today. We're supposed to get snow tonight, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So let's do that first, Kylene. Talk to us. So you mentioned a workshop, but tell us a little bit more about that. I'm going to get a screen share up here, and I'm also going to put a link into the comments right now. Okay. And I created a bit.ly link to just make this easier to get to. And so it's bit.ly WHB, which stands for We Heart Biz, EMMC. So what does that stand for, Kylene?
Empowered Mindset Masterclass.
All right. So what is the Empowered Mindset Masterclass?
So I designed it kind of as a way for people who are trying to do it all. Maybe you feel like life's just really tough right now, or you just really want to keep growing and learning to achieve your dreams and make the most out of life. So it is all about, I'm really going to focus a lot on the first success principle, take 100% responsibility for your life. And because that truly is a foundation to kind of operate with your life. But I'm going to incorporate some exercises to kind of really give you that confidence to start moving forward. And then we'll do a meditation. And these will be tools that you can take with you. And it will be recorded, so you'll be able to go back to it as needed to really kind of remind yourself of what we talked about and what we learned about, so you can apply these in your life. So that's the goal of this workshop, and I'm super excited. It's going to be virtual. It's going to be on Zoom. I would love to do this in person, but that's not really an option anytime soon. So it will be on Zoom. We're going to limit it to 30 people. I just want to create a more comfortable setting for everyone because this kind of training sometimes can bring up emotions. And if you have a ton of people in there, I feel like it's more respectful for the participants that'll be there.
Well, plus you're also able to really customize and personalize this, when you're dealing with 100 people, things like that, it's really hard to kind of customize and personalize. And I
Yeah.
know you said you're going to be doing some exercises. So, those exercises are great for you to do them yourselves. But if you can also be able to get feedback and bounce feedback and things like that off of uh, the instructor participants,
Yeah.
I'm sure I will be hanging out in there with you as well, if
Yeah.
you'll allow me.
Yeah. I would love that.
All right. Well, so I guess, who's this for, Kylene? What?
So it's really for people who are trying to do it all. You're trying to have your own business, or you're trying to go to work and then have this side hobby, or you're a parent and you're being pulled in every single direction, or you're homeschooling. Like, it's really for those that just kind of feel like life might be happening to them, and instead of them taking control of their life. It's for people who get stuck in their head, and maybe there's this barrier, and if they could just get past their fear, they could truly accomplish great things with their business, with their life, whatever their goals might be. That's really who I'm gearing it towards, because I found it personally so powerful, because that's where I was. I was at a pretty difficult point, and it really was so helpful to have those tools. So that's kind of who I'm gearing it towards.
Okay. So you just mentioned, you were at that point, maybe for our listeners here today, can you share with us maybe one tip that you really found helpful and useful in your life to kind of bring that empowered mindset to the forefront?
Yeah, I mean, you've talked about it on here, but it's that basic formula, the E plus R equals O. So the event plus your response equals your outcome. So, I was kind of identifying with what I thought this was supposed to look like, and what I thought I was supposed to achieve. I was very successful in my career, and then I go into this venture, and there's so many failures, and that's not a bad thing. But because of that, my confidence just went so far down. I just wasn't used to having those kinds of failures. And so taking that R, that response, changing my response, really allowed me to kind of take control again, instead of letting all this stuff come on me. And then it's almost like you kind of become a victim in a way of the circumstances around you, instead of taking control.
Yeah.
And I've never been that kind of person. So to experience that was really powerful.
Yeah. Wow. Look at this, Kylene.
What?
Nan is a rock star. Thank you, Nan.
Yay. Thank you, Nan. I'm really excited to share this with you.
Yeah, awesome. So you mentioned that whole E plus R equals O. I'd like to dig into that just a hair more. I was actually had an opportunity to have a conversation with somebody yesterday. And we were just talking about, so yesterday on Two Regular Guys podcast, we hit a pretty tricky subject. We actually got some kudos for being willing to tackle the subject. And we talked about, should I print that? Meaning, is every order that comes in the door something that we should be printing? If it's, bringing out a message that we don't agree with, or if you're trying to hurt somebody else, how do you navigate that as a business owner, right? Anyhow, within that, though, we started talking about that, and I had an opportunity to talk with somebody else about the whole program afterwards, and we were talking about that. Actually, E plus R equals O is definitely a tool that you can use in these situations. In today's world of divisiveness, you're either A or you're B, and if you're B and I'm A, I gotta hate you. Which is not the way life should work, but that's kind of what we've grown to right now. I know a lot of people are trying really hard to make changes in that, and I think that's a lot of what this is all about. So anyhow, I was just talking about the fact that I saw something on probably on Facebook, who knows, somewhere that kind of like brought up this anger in me, right? And I was like, oh man, and my initial reaction was to just well, my initial reaction was like anger. And then my second reaction was, let's just block them and get them out of my life kind of thing. And then, but I remembered, hey, you know what? I actually have the empowered mindset, and this is something you have to choose to do, that my response can be completely different than my initial response or my second response, right?
Yep.
And growing and learning. So my third response was to just, and I didn't actually, I guess I could have gone to the next level, but I chickened out there. But my next response was just in my mind to just tell that person in my mind, I love you, I respect you. I hope that you can find peace. And the outcome, my feeling after that was so different, because we've talked about this a lot. I know, we kind of live it in little bits and pieces along the way, and we're trying to live it as much as possible. But when you have those opportunities that these things become a powerful experience for you personally too, it's so amazing, and it makes it so much easier to share, right? Because you have that thing. So do you have any experiences like that maybe you could share with us that I know that's, again, I'm putting you on the spot here, Kylene.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's been plenty. Just trying to think of one I could share. I guess I could talk about just with We Heart starting out, putting out a sale. So I put out a sale or put out a new product, and I was so excited about it, and crickets, nothing happened. And that's when I started to have those negative thoughts come in. That's when I had all that doubt. That's when I had like, I don't know what I'm doing. I can't do this. All those things that are not serving me at all. And so once I realized I had to take control, if you will, I had to change that response. It wasn't about me. It was maybe that's not what my audience wanted. So I had to take me out of the equation a little bit and make it about them in this particular situation. And therefore it kind of released me of that personal responsibility. It wasn't me that they didn't like, it was just maybe this design, or maybe I didn't have this in front of the right people, or maybe I didn't share it enough. All those things. So it was really it just opened up my eyes a little bit that it's not me, what I guess.
Yeah. No, so I mean,
circle a little bit about it, but
yeah, that's okay. But when you talk about, so you change your response, what did that empower you to do?
To look at it differently and use that feedback and make those necessary changes that I needed to, instead of just being like a victim, if you will, that it's me that they don't like, and therefore I don't keep moving forward. So it empowered me to keep believing in myself and trying.
Yeah. Because when you're in that space, when you're that is your response to feel negative emotions, to feel like the victim, to I call it the woe is me party, or the Jack Canfield refers to it as the ain't it awful club, where everything's awful and everything's negative. And I've joked about this a lot, but it really is something that I kind of grew up with, not in a negative way. It just kind of was the way that our family sometimes interacted. Is what are we? Let's find something to blame. Let's find something to complain about. The weather's bad. I don't feel good. This is happening to me. That, and it wasn't. Again, it was never malicious, or my family was never bad or sad or anything like that. It just kind of seemed like second nature. I'm not sure where that grew from. I'm not sure how I contributed to all of that, but it was so empowering to be able to get to that point where you go, hey, you know what? I could choose something differently. I mean, you get to see my reactiveness all the time, right?
Yes. But you're doing, I mean, I can see you changing your thought process.
Yep.
I mean, I watch you do it. It's pretty, it's powerful.
Do you ever
Even-
just sit back and go, okay, wait until the dummy gets there. I'll just sit and wait.
Yes. I try not to respond too early. I'm just kidding.
No, I'm not. That's fine. You can.
No,
all right.
but we all process this stuff differently. And I think that's what I want people to know, that, it is a process and we all operate differently, but it is something we can all use.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, so we're getting into that part of it in the workshop. You're going to dig deep into that. Some exercises that go along with that to really kind of implant that, right?
Yep.
Okay. So then what happens from there?
Well, then, like you said, we'll do some exercises, and then I'll talk a little bit about, a couple other powerful success principles that I think are really beneficial in moving forward with your life. And I wanted to talk about releasing the brakes and believe it's possible. So, don't stay stuck in what's comfortable, because all growth, all confidence, all that stuff happens outside of your comfort zone. And so truly believing that you're capable of doing this and trying new things and getting past whatever block you have is possible. So we're going to dive into that. And then we're also going to do a meditation. And it's going to be something that, again, you can come back to with the recording, or you can just take with you, but some way to quiet your mind, to get yourself centered again, so you can make these scary things happen in your life so you can keep moving forward. So I'm really excited about that. I started a...
So with that, before you get to, I know where you're heading there.
Okay.
Talk to us a little bit about the meditation side of things. Yeah. So let's say I'm one of those, I think there's actually a book out there, Meditation for the Fidgety Skeptics. And I needed to read that. So, when somebody said, oh, hold on a second, meditation, that's a little too wooey for me. What has meditation done for you? What's the, I think there's a lot of negative connotation with meditation, and because people don't quite understand what it's all about. So I want to hear your take on it, and then I'll share my take on it, and we'll see where those match up.
Yeah. I mean, it's as simple as just calming your breath, just sitting there and just closing your eyes and just breathing. I mean, it really, truly doesn't have to be like, what you see in the movies, where it's, everyone's sitting in a circle and they're...
Yeah, the kind of lotus style and
Yeah. And so what it allows your brain to calm, and you can get centered again, and therefore you are empowered then to keep moving forward. It brings in so many positive emotions. You can visualize when you're in that state of achieving. You've talked about that before, of achieving your dreams. You can just go through things that you're grateful for. All of those positive things you can do to keep building yourself up inside is huge. And that's how I view meditation. What's your take on that?
Yeah, I agree with you. And I think, like I said, I think it sometimes gets a little lost in translation. Like you said, we see the movies, we see we think it's, you've got to be a Buddhist monk that sits up in the mountain and does nothing but think all the time, kind of thing. But it's actually none of those things. Meditation really is just the opportunity to slow down, to focus your attention on one thing, right? And just focus on your thoughts and focus on not having monkey brain, the squirrel brain, where you're chasing everything around. It causes you to stop and slow down. You and I were talking about this in the car last night, that we seem to be hearing more about mindfulness and meditation, and maybe because we're a bit more involved in it. But I also believe that we're seeing and hearing more about it because today's world especially our kids, are going to need this. They're being raised in the cell phone, smartphone world, the social media world, where the whole intention of everything on here, everything on this little thing right here, the whole intention of it is to steal your attention. Right. Yep. So you've got notifications on your phone. You have to go check to see if your friends liked your post on the gram, or, how many hearts you've got on your TikTok dance video, whatever the case may be. That's all made to steal your attention, because if they can steal your attention, they can put enough ads in front of you to pay their bills, right? Or to line their pockets, in most cases, is actually what's happening. But if that's the case, then we need meditation, or that idea of meditation, that's slowing down. And another link that I just made here, Kylene, so thank you for helping me make these links, is we talked about the fact that if we're E plus R equals O is that plus part, right? The E plus R. To me, that plus part is the pause. So as I was talking about in my story, I went through several different potential responses. Actually, I'll rephrase that. I went through several responses. Fortunately, none of them were public right away, so I didn't have to try to retract, but I went through several responses. And if you are just operating in that knee-jerk, attention-grabbing, monkey brain lifestyle that most of us get into most of the time, and you don't have that skill, right? So meditation is a skill. We talked last week on this program, the 4 skills of successful people. All of these things that we're talking about aren't just like, oh, well, you know what? I just don't have a lot of attention. I'm, this or that or the other thing. Well, these are all skills that you can work on and master. So meditation is a tool to help you master that skill of pausing, determining what the best response is to get the best outcome, right? So
exactly. Yep. Well said.
All right. So I just, you got me going on the right direction, and I had to just keep going. So
I love it. That's great.
All right. So you started to mention something else before I rudely cut you off, but let's catch a couple of comments here real quick, because I think there's some good ones here. Heidi says, you might like the Emotional Intelligence 2.0 book. It really goes with this. We've got that one. It's in our Audibles. I just haven't had a chance to listen to it yet. So we'll keep moving that one up the list. Heidi, thank you so much for sharing that. That's great. And Nan says, this talk is so needed right now. It is reminding me to stop before I react, and to remember not to take everything personally when nothing is selling. And Sandy says exactly. Valerie says it's hard to remember not every product is made for every customer. Right. Yep. Exactly. And I was talking, I think I was telling you this, Kylene, but I've gotten into this whole regurgitating sayings thing.
Yep.
I feel like maybe it's because I'm getting old, but I don't know. But hey, you know what though? They make sense, right? You talk me off the ledge. Yeah. So it is that idea that if you try to be everything to everybody, you'll end up being nothing to nobody. But it is hard to go, I like this, I think it's cool, and then to have crickets happen, right? But what the key is, the thing that we hope you guys take from this today is, when you have that feeling, the thing to do though is to go back and look at what your response was, right? And when you go back and look at that, then what does that allow you to do, Kylene?
Can change. You have the control to change how you respond. Yeah,
but you have to look where?
You have to look at the feedback and inside, and how you were responsible for making that happen. Exactly. So sometimes it's hard to do, but it's really powerful.
Yep. Because you were talking about your situation, and like you said, you had to go back and reevaluate and say to yourself, okay, my initial reaction was this, but if I go back and I look internally, and I understand the feedback that I'm getting, because we say feedback, and a lot of times people go, oh, okay, well, I sent a survey and somebody gave me feedback, or I got actual, somebody told me something. But feedback is not just in that direct communication type form, feedback is also in the, so if you put something out there and it sells a whole bunch, that's feedback that people like it, right? But if you put something out there and it doesn't sell, that's feedback of another kind. And that's where you have to figure it out, because when that feedback happens, that feedback is typically a little harder to understand, because it could be a lot of things. You mentioned several different variables. Maybe share those real quick with folks too, those variables in the feedback that you have to look at. You kind of mentioned. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it could be, maybe that's just not a design that people like, or maybe that's not a product that's needed. Maybe it's your price. Maybe you didn't share it with anyone. Maybe you just, something was missing, or maybe something on your website didn't allow people to actually purchase it. Or maybe they couldn't find it on your website. All of those things.
Yeah, that's great. So you've got to go through those, and then you got to start checking off the boxes, right? And you got to start going, okay, is this the right design? And that's where it becomes difficult. That's where the fear comes in, because it's that, nobody likes me, woe is me. And that's okay. That's, not something that we all have that, right? I would venture to guess that even the people we look up to, the most successful people, have that kind of thing that happens to them. It's just how they react to that. And a big part of that next step, though, is, okay, now we have to go get that direct feedback, right? We have to ask people, you go, gosh, I really thought so-and-so was going to like this. And then you got to reach out to so-and-so, and you got to say, hey, just curious, I thought you might really like this. What's your feedback on that? And that's really hard, because they might go, yeah, Kylene, that just sucks. Sorry. Right. Or they might feel uncomfortable sharing with you, and now you've made that uncomfortable thing, or, all that other stuff. So go ahead.
You just have to have those difficult conversations. I mean, it really comes down to that. And again, changing that response. So it's not about you, it's about what that product or that design or something like that in this example.
Yeah. And honestly, Kylene, I guess the other step to take this is, even if it's not, and maybe it is about you, and that's okay, because it doesn't matter what they think about you. It matters what you think about you. So if it is about you, then use that feedback to figure out ways that you could change yourself if you feel so inclined, or vice versa. Go, okay, well, then that doesn't match up, right? Yeah. Surround yourself with positive people. And anyhow, that kind of got away off the beaten path there a little bit. Shocker that I got off the beaten path. Yeah. All right. So you were starting to talk to us about some of the rest of the class, and just some of the other tools and things like that. So what else is going on with you?
So I also started my certification to become a yoga instructor.
Okay.
So
Why?
To incorporate that as another way to help people reach their dreams, and incorporate that with the mindfulness, and incorporate that with the meditation and all of that. So that'll be something that will be incorporated in this workshop too.
Excellent. All right.
Yep.
So let's talk about yoga real quick then. I am somebody that can barely touch my knees most days, not even toes. Toes is like a dream, right? For me. And I associate yoga with that. Yeah. Like, I have to tie my body up into a pretzel, and it's painful. And so what, and certainly I might not be your target audience. I get that. But what can yoga do for somebody like me?
So yoga is actually about quieting the mind. There's the physical practice that goes as part of it, but truly yoga at its base is quieting the mind and learning to calm that mind and getting into that meditative state. So the stretching just allows you to release that energy and to focus on that body movement on yourself. And so anyone can do yoga.
Even me? You've seen me.
Even you, yes.
You
One
just
of
scare
these
me. It
mornings, maybe
scares me.
you'll join me.
It just scares me. I know you're going to be like, okay, do this. I'm going to go, not since I was 5 years old.
I will not hurt you.
All right. All right. Well, so anybody can do this.
Yes.
And
Yeah, and you take your practice to wherever you want to take it. You again have control. And so I love that concept, and it really fit well with everything that I'm trying to do to support others in achieving their dreams. So that's why I am doing it.
excellent. Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that's why you're doing it. I'd love to hear from the folks listening in, our live viewers right now, and any of you practicing yoga, or what are some of the things that you guys do to quiet your mind, And again, I think a lot of times a lot of these things just kind of get lost in translation, right? We
Yep.
see the mainstream media or movies or whatever kind of depict things these ways, and we go, yeah, what? That makes no sense to me, or that doesn't, I don't understand that, and then therefore we kind of leave it alone. And what
Mhm.
I've discovered is all of that thinking on my part, all of that, that's crazy, that's too woo woo, that's too. I've missed so many opportunities on being open to that. It doesn't mean that I'm going to do everything right and do. You can take things from all of these things and incorporate them into your life, right? I mean, that's kind of,
That's the idea behind it, actually.
yeah. Is an giving people the information and the tools that they can take and choose to use in their own way that fits for them to
Mhm.
empower their mindset, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So
What
Valerie
works
said,
for
go ahead,
no.
Kylene, go ahead. We'll get to Valerie in a second.
I just was saying what works for one person might not look exactly the same for another person, but again, at its core, it's all the same. It's all choosing that response and how you are controlling your life.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right. Valerie says, I've been intrigued by yoga, but I've never tried it myself. So,
Awesome. We can change that.
all right. And Sandy says, I've done yoga in the past. It's been quite a while, though.
Awesome.
All right. And Nan says, super proud of you. Love your new vision.
Oh, thank you.
Virtual hug, right?
Yeah.
All right. All right, Kylene. So what have we missed? What haven't we talked about? I guess before we get to kind of closing out with more details on the class and some of the other things, let's do one more thing with just. So you kind of talked about the progressions, you talked about releasing the brakes, you talked about believing in yourself.
Mhm.
So let's leave one more good nugget on the table here. Either of those two principles, what would you like to share there that people can take away today and just start thinking about, start incorporating in their lives?
You only have control over those three things. So your behavior and your thoughts and what you visualize. I think that really is that response in the E+R=O. So if you can really remind yourself in those situations that you have control over those three things and you can do that, no one can do that for you.
Yeah.
It can truly be so powerful in your life and get you through some of those difficult moments where you feel like everything's hitting you or you have so much happening that you can't even think straight. Just taking a minute to pause and remember those things that you have control over.
Yep. And so how does that lead to believing in yourself and releasing the brakes?
Well, you just, because you're taking control, you get to create your life. And so then you just start to open yourself up to what's coming in. And therefore, by doing that, then the things that you are attracting are the things that are getting you to closer to your dreams and the life that you want to create. So, yeah. And sometimes it's scary to do that.
Yeah. Well, and I think, for me, the way that looks, and I think this is what you're describing, and so you can correct me if I'm wrong here, but when we decide that, hey, I have control over these three things, and that's in my circle of influence, that's under my control.
Yep.
So that gives me the framework, the groundwork, and the opportunity to then start releasing the brakes, because now I know what I can control. Now I know what I can do, and I can start pushing further against, so if this is my comfort zone, I want to start pushing against that, because we know that everything we want is right out here, right outside of our comfort zone. And within that, so now I start releasing the brakes, right? I start doing more things because I feel more empowered, because I know what I can control.
Yep.
And once you start releasing the brakes, things start to happen, because you are feeling the successes, right? You're seeing, oh, okay, well, that thing that I thought was really scary, my husband making me get on a live video with him seemed really scary, but now I've done it. It was actually kind of a good time. I actually enjoyed it. I actually got to talk. I got to share, right?
Mm-hmm.
I got to talk a little bit. My husband talked most of the time, but that's neither here nor there. But again, that's the only way we can gain self-confidence, right, Kylene? How do we gain self-confidence?
You have to keep moving. Sorry. You have to keep doing things that scare you. You have to. And every time
why does that build self-confidence when you do things that scare you?
Survived it. You did it, and you learned from it, and so now you can try it again.
Yeah.
Again,
and you can
from there.
Yep, exactly. And you could try it again, and like you said, you can kind of understand it, and you can do it differently the next time. You get a little better every time, and that builds self-confidence, and that leads to believing in yourself, right?
Yep. Exactly.
Yep. Okay. All right. So I did it right. Yay. Me.
Good job.
Thank you. All right. So that's there. Let's Wendy says, I've never connected the dots that yoga is to quiet the mind. Sometimes something people in the past 2 weeks have told me I needed. So there you go.
Awesome.
That's
great, it is really powerful.
Yeah. All right. You guys are pushing me outside of my comfort zone here. I'm going to have to start releasing the brakes on this yoga thing. So I may even have Kylene show me some stuff after this. So if you hear screams and yells coming from the St. Peters, Missouri area, it's just me. So, all right. Kathy, this is Kylene's mom. Hello, Kathy. Thank you for being here. We love this. I'm a believer in meditation. It doesn't have to consume a lot of time. When I sit down with my coffee in the morning, it's my time to meditate to start my day.
That's awesome.
Yep. Yeah. And that's a perfect point too, Kathy, is that, you don't, it's not that I got to find a half hour, 2 hours to just sit and try to focus. Right. Yeah. I mean, it can be heck, most of the time for me, it's no more than 5-10 minutes. There are I use the Calm app, and it helps kind of with some guided meditation stuff, just to help kind of get me there, because I am not that great at it. Easily distracted, right? So, but so that helps me. But when I find one of those meditations that's super long, I normally kind of stray away from it, because again, I'm working up to that, right? So it doesn't have to be a long time. It can just be that simple, like sitting down with your morning coffee, not thinking about anything, just letting the thoughts come in, letting them go, not being led anywhere, just kind of staying focused. Most times they use you just thinking about your breath, focusing on your breath as a great, but it actually can be anything, right? You can just, I could sit here and meditate right now. There's a little sign right underneath my camera that says smile. And I could just continue to just look at those letters and think about SMILE. And 5 minutes later, I'm much more centered, much more grounded, much easier for me to then make better responses, right? Because that helps me with that pause. That plus sign is the pause.
Well, yeah, and you don't want to just dive in and assume you need to take 2 hours every day to get yourself in that place, because that's probably not realistic right away, and therefore then you won't see that success that you might want to see, or it might disrupt your life more than you might be ready for. So just quick, simple, and build up to it. I like that.
Yep. Small little incremental changes, and just keep building on those good habits, right?
Yep.
Yep. Okay. All right. Well, excuse me. What's going on in our house here this morning? We got to get the humidifier back on, huh? Yeah. All right. So let's talk real quick to close this out. And if you guys have questions, here we go. Ryan says, my fiance practices yoga. It helps her physically, emotionally, spiritually. I'm with you, Aaron. Still reluctant to try it, but curious since it's helped so many people.
Awesome.
Yeah, Ryan, you know what? Why don't we make a little kind of pact here together? Let's be open to it. Let's give it a try. Maybe, for me, Kylene knows that she's just got to go really slow and easy with me, and Ryan, maybe your fiance can help you. Again, just the small bits, right? Just give us small bits, and so maybe let's make an agreement to spend the next 20 days just giving it a shot.
You guys can do it.
All right. I'm in if you are, Ryan. So awesome. Thank you, Ryan, for sharing that. That's awesome. All right, Kylene, let's close this out here real quick. Let's just give everybody a little bit more. Sorry. See, I am totally distractible. Yeah. Kylene could start a bro yoga class. All
there
right.
we go.
Broga. Is that what
Broga.
that is?
I like it.
All right. So let's just close out here with sharing a little bit more about the masterclass. Let's give them all the details here. I know you talked about who it's for, kind of what it's all about, but tell us kind of, all right, the first question I've got for you is how much does it cost?
So it's $99, but I have marked it down 50% off for the first 15 people who sign up, or through the end of February.
Oh.
So it'll be 50% off.
I put 10 on the website. So there you go. You just 5 more people get an opportunity to get it at to get it. So half off would be $49.50, right?
50, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's good either through the end of the month or 15 people, whichever comes first, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So we'll update
so
the website.
5 people.
Bonus 5 people. Kylene just bonused 5 more people at the $49.50. Nan said she already signed up, so 14 people left, or maybe less. All right. So what else do people need to know?
It's going to be through Zoom, so it's going to be around 2 hours. I talked earlier, we're going to limit it to 30 people. You will have access to the video when you are done. So you'll be able to refer back to it and then keep learning from that. I am really passionate about this, and I really think it is going to help you change your life and move forward in a positive way, whatever that looks like for you. But I will offer 100% money back guarantee if people are not satisfied, if they did attend the live training.
Okay.
I would honor that, because I want this to be beneficial for everyone.
Yeah, exactly. And just real quick, the rundown again, you're going to have some training, you're going to have some worksheets, exercises, some things like that. You're going to have some more information, but you're also going to have a meditation. You're going to share with them some yoga training practice as well, right?
Yep.
What else is involved here?
Well, someone just wrote date of the event, so yes, that's really important.
Yep, we should definitely share that. So Wendy, thank you for reminding us.
April 30th.
Yep. So it's April 30th at 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Central, 12 p.m. Mountain, 11 a.m. Pacific time.
Yeah. So
and then if you're
end your weekend, go into your weekend.
Yep. So that's a Friday, right? Friday afternoon ish, depending on where you're at. And if you're outside of the U.S., then just let us know and we'll figure out what the time is, or you can figure it out from there.
Yep.
And great questions here. So Nan says, is there a possibility this will turn into a series?
I hope so. Yes.
Yeah. Yes, so that is a possibility. Becky says, so is it one class?
Yes, it'll be a 1 2-hour workshop.
1 2-hour workshop. Okay. Yeah. All right, great questions, guys. Thank you so much for this. It really helps us a lot. Asking any questions about this. All right, so what else, Kylene? Now, if people are interested but not quite sure yet, what do we need to do there?
So you can do one of two things. You can email me at hello@weheart.biz, or you can go over to my Empowered Beauties group on Facebook, and you can sign up there, and then I will. You can sign up with your email on there, and then I will share with you a little additional information, answer any questions you have. But I also have a little tool in there that I would love to give you. That if you are attending the workshop, it would be awesome to bring with you and have done ahead of time, because it can kind of help us really identify maybe some of the challenges that you have in your life that you could apply this to really quickly. So I'd love to offer that to you. So yes, that is Crunchy Empowered Beauties is
the Facebook group, and then
yep.
So can we real quickly just talk a little bit about the worksheet and what it is, and
sure.
Do you mind if I put it up on screen?
No, that'd be wonderful.
We'll just put the trying to make it so people can see it. So give me 1 second here to share screen. So you'll get this, and where's the right button? Too many buttons, Kylene. Too many buttons. All right. Now, there we go. A little better. So difficult or troubling situation. Maybe you could just share kind of, maybe you can just kind of share with me how this works. We can go through the top 3 questions. You can use me as a guinea pig if that works. Okay. So what is a difficult or troubling situation in your life or business? I would say difficult or troubling situation in my life or business would be that I need to lose about 40 pounds.
Okay.
And then from there.
How are you creating that or allowing that to happen?
I'd like to blame you, but I can't. No, I'm just kidding. We both have a sweet tooth, and we're not very good at supporting each other on getting over that sweet tooth. And it's not. Yeah. But how are you creating it or allowing it to happen? Not giving myself enough time in the day to make sure that I'm exercising, and then being more intentional about the meals that we eat. We kind of run from one thing to the next, and it's just kind of like, hey, let's just grab something real quick. And it ends up being, either picking up something from fast food or just grabbing whatever crud we've got laying around, kind of thing.
Crud. Thanks.
Well, I mean, we do have different things that, the snacks in our house that just are not the healthiest all the time. So,
yep. So what are you pretending not to know as you hear say these things?
So what I'm pretending not to know is that I am I guess I'm pretending not to know that I can actually eat healthy, that I can make those better decisions, and not cave in all the time. So that would be what I'm pretending not to know.
Awesome.
All right.
And
so there's more questions, and you can kind of go through all that, but kind of give people an example of how we would work through this together.
So we'd go through the rest of the questions, and at the very end, it's really powerful. It really just kind of almost like a flashing light shows you what it is that is causing the friction or the difficult situation, and it allows you then to make those small changes to get through that difficult or troubling situation, to apply the E+R=O formula. But the way the questions are asked, it really just helps pinpoint what's going on.
Yeah. And then, your past as a vocational rehab counselor really kind of gives you a unique skill set too, that you're able to then take data like this, right?
Yep.
these types of, I don't know, assessments almost, right? You're kind of
Yeah,
you're assessing a difficult or troubling situation, right?
yep. Yeah. So it's like I always say putting the pieces of the puzzle together. So you have information here, you have on that worksheet, you have information from what you express, and then you have information of where you want to be. And then all those tools together, we can kind of talk about how they all fit and how you can make some changes to tailor it to what your needs are.
Yep. Yep. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Awesome. Well, that's fantastic. So there's only 50% off spots left or less. So Wendy's,
Oh,
so she's,
awesome.
yeah, that is great. Thank you, Wendy.
Thank you.
All right, Kylene, anything else that we need to leave people with before we call it a day here? If you guys have any questions, those of you listening in, please feel free to pop those in there now. Please feel free to ask. Please feel free to connect with Kylene. I am so blessed to have her in my life, and she changes my life every day. And I don't want to just keep her to myself, right? She's she's a value to a lot of people, and I can't wait to share her more with the world.
Well, thank you. I'm really, really excited about this opportunity. And if people have questions, please reach out. I would love to explain in more detail if you have questions.
Yeah. Kylene is the side of me that fills a ton of holes. She's really good at that opportunity to assess, work through those troubling situations, work through all of that stuff. And for me, I challenge with that. I'm so kind of solution oriented, and she helps me through this all the time, where it's just like, I start hearing something and I've already kind of like, okay, here's how you fix that. And it may not be the thing, but my style is, let's just try a whole bunch of things and see what's going to work. And Kylene's definitely more empathetic. I think I've got empathy, but not at Kylene's level. So
Yes, you do.
all right. Thanks.
Yeah.
So the nice
Yeah.
yin and yang there. And so my personal mission and goal, and what we strive for at our success group, is to provide resources that empower people that empower business owners to achieve their idea of success. And to me, this is a perfect resource. And so that's why I want to share it as much as I can too, is make sure that people have these resources available to them. And, just connecting with Kylene, if you're, again, maybe this isn't for you, maybe it's the time doesn't work, or whatever the case may be, still please get into that group. There's a lot of different things that you guys do in that group. So maybe share with us real quick what, you're just starting to grow this group. It's relatively new for you, but what's going to happen inside this group outside of these kinds of things, master classes?
Yeah, so it is a wellness type of group. In there, we share ways to live with less toxins in our life, and to reduce our body burden. So all those extra things that we put in our body, on our body. So, and it also is based on Crunchy, which is Crunchy with an I. And it's a makeup and skincare company that its whole mission is being environmentally friendly and providing clean products for us to use.
Yep, toxin free. Even I use them, right?
Yep, and Lewis. Yep. They're really amazing products, but it's all about the education there. And so I hope to share all that with you all there too.
Yeah. And you function a lot like me, where, we want to provide things, we want to offer things, but it's not about the sales pitch. It's not about, kind of the all of that. It's about educating. And then if people can use those extra resources that are available to them, then they can go from there. And I think that's what you guys are trying to do inside that page too, right?
Most definitely. Yeah. It's all about the education.
Okay. Awesome. All right, you guys. Well, Kylene, any last bits before we get out of here?
Well, I'm really excited to do this with you all. And thank you to those that already signed up. That's really, really exciting. So
Awesome. All right, Kylene. Well, thank you very much for your time today. We appreciate you being here. And even though we're in the same house, we're not in the same room. So I will see you in a little bit.
All right. Sounds good for some yoga, right?
Oh yeah, that's right. Ryan, I promised, if you're still here, Ryan, I promised, hopefully you're you're talking to your fiance as well. So, all right. Whoops. All right. I just kicked her out, but hit the wrong button. Kylene, thank you so much. Appreciate you being here. You guys, thank you so much for joining us today. Hopefully, not only did you get to be exposed to a new resource that could potentially help you, but we really wanted to make sure that you guys have some of those tools, some of the ideas. We're connecting the dots, and we're hoping to share that. And I could see that some of you guys were able to take some of that, and that's what we want. Again, let us know what you guys need, what you need. And Ryan, we're in. High five, man. We're going to do this yoga thing. I may even throw a camera on it just for fun, right? Kylene is really going to hate me now. Oh, shaking head, no. Okay. Awesome. Wendy, thank you. You have a great day as well. You guys have an awesome rest of your Saturday. And we will talk to you guys next Saturday, same time, 8 a.m. I've got a few topics that I'm bouncing around, but if you guys have specific things that you want to have us bring up, have me bring up, let's talk about. If it's something that I don't know anything about, I'll find a guest. Whatever we need to do. Again, like all the things that we get an opportunity to do, if it doesn't help you, it doesn't help me. So give me your ideas. Reach out. You can just find us up there at oursuccessgroup.com. And with that being said, we will call it a day. And again, thank you guys so much for being here. Have a great day.